why this kind of tools you use, what is the purpose. Of course, now you find out all the code goes to the code specific tool code repository. Your backend code, your front-end code, your mobile app code, your desktop code, they have their specific bucket, what we call the repository. And this repository is categorized by the project. Means that I have a project. In my project, I have a front-end repository. I have a backend repository. I have a mobile app. I have a mobile app repository. I have a desktop app. I have a desktop app repository. Now I have a developer. I have a front-end developer. I have a backend developer. I have a mobile app developer. I have a desktop app developer. And I have now the environment. I have a QA environment. I have a development environment. I have a staging environment. I have a production environment. All this shit control from the Git. Who understand the Git, their life is clean. I mean, the remaining thing that follow the same flow. So in the Git, you, as a recapping again, you work, you have your own repository. Everybody work, the repository means you write the code, push the code to your own repository. So now, then the staging has the repository, testing has the repository, production has the repository, development has the repository. So as all the developer push the code their own repository, then what do we do? So we have to mix it, and that's called the merging. We call the merging. Before the merging, you can read what is before, what is after. That also provide Git. You can read who did it, what did it. You can read. You can read what date has been changed. You can see what has been changed. You can see how many times has been changed. You can see change details. Everything you can see from the Git. You do not need to go to the developer at all. That's the reason the whole development team has the Git access. Okay. So any of the code base, there is a special command. What is this command? Dot, right? From your keyboard. Can you press the dot? Yep. So any code base, if you click the dot, press the dot, it opens the web-based editor. Good. Any of the code base, if you want to just press the dot, the period, then it open the web-based editor. So now the whole code base is here. Why we did it? Because over there all the like a file by file, but here I can navigate each of these file details now. So makes my life easy. Even though I did not write the code, that's not my scope, but I need to understand, make sure each of the API endpoint is properly done between the Swagger and here. Because it's a developer writing the code and they're human, right? They're human. They may, if you, in the API, there is like the sign up and developer did a mistake, sign ups. Is it going to work? So if you come here and you can see that, oh, you write the sign ups. And actually the Swagger is sign up. Simple. Well, Swagger is sign ups and here sign up in the code base. So this kind of thing is not a rocket science. This is your job, all of your job. And that's the reason each job we ask everybody, do you have a programming language experience? Means exposure. You are not writing the details code, but I am counting on you that I do not want to babysit you. Just read the basic code. And that's also you can do from the Git as well. So you can make a little bit larger the whole thing. Large. I don't know how to large it. So basically this all the details, how the code base is, sorry, that's the project structure is. Okay. Each of those things that we have the different, you can TS4E app, GitHub. How to make it bigger? I don't know.
Control plus.
Control plus plus. Go no. To the, here you go. This is the one of the most used IDE, integrated development environment, mean writing the code. And in the world is super popular now. Guess what? This is also based on the JavaScript. That's also built on the Electron.js. the one we wrote our desktop app. So this is the VS Code. The cloud ops use for their configuration, our quality engineer use. There are so many IDE. This is one of the very popular, developed by Microsoft, but programming language is Node.js and Electron.js. It means JavaScript programming language. Okay. So as I said, our OTA over there update, we use the Expo. I do not want to go details. You can click each of this. Okay. And the app behavior, how this works, chat notification, click it, click detail. I just want to show you one. Again, this is exactly the code base now in production. You saw the screenshot, I'm not lying. There is no environment information here. That's all I wanted to say. That's how the everything separate in the code base. You in the code, you do not put any hard-coded information. You put all the dynamic information. The hard-coded information where you store in the special file is called the environment file, properties file, this and that. This where there is no like the information that you need to change. So this is the code. You see that there. This is the mobile app. There is no HTML. There is no CSS. You see this? It's all the React Native code. This is it. Then you go to the general action. Look at the code. Of course, you see the import, export, all of this. This is all the JavaScript coding. I'm not telling you have to learn the coding here. You don't need to, but yeah. So once the backend is complete, the developer start writing create a JavaScript file and start writing the UI, means putting the button, and then write the code, and then start implementing the endpoint. And then it is done, then it is built, and then it go to after the build, it goes two places. One is where? Do you guys know? Play Store, another is App Store. But before it goes to the publish, in the Android, we do what? Side loading, we can do the side loading. Or another is test flight. In the test flight. And once your testing is done, and then you push the production. But before mobile app come, what do? Backend developer, write the code, push the code to GitHub, and then the DevOps engineer deploy the code, build the code, and deploy the code, all the lower environment. All the lower environment, QA, business, QA need to involve for the details testing, test cases, test execution, test case development, all of this. If they find the bug, they create the bug, and they manage everything through the project management platform, either Jira, Agile, ALM, whatever they use. They follow their life cycle there. And then once the testing is done, the code is start. The same code is moving to the different environment. Development, test, staging, and finally in the production. How the code, why we do not use the URL on the code base? Because that is one endpoint, the same code base. We deploy every environment, but environment information is only the separate. Why? Because that's the where you add API key, server URL, database information, whatever information, this is the special file we add so that we do not mix the code with the environment details. Go to the next one. You guys will see all the code is details here. All the file, all the PNG you see on the app. So if you see if we delete one of the things, then you will not see anymore. If we delete one of the PNG file, you will not see anymore on the app. And you build it and we push it. You will not see anymore at all. So that's actually you can look at it, but it's the same thing. This is not in your scope to learn the mobile app development, but the writing the code, but your scope is everything is start with the backend, business logic. Any question? You guys want to see any specific file? Not the environment file, because that's where our secret. So we do not want to show you that. Yeah, you see the Git ignore will talk about that. This session, this part is very important for the cloud ops. This the part is very important for them, because they will say, what is the environment? What is all of this? Now they understand what my environment is actually the key, my everything is separating. You guys want to see specific file, you can ask. Go ahead.
Or change the functionality.
Yes.
As a today we want to change or enhance the functionality. So we can get the help, we can get the help from this to understand is this functionality need to change from the backend or not.
Sure. So, but the things should start from the Agile ALM. Things even should not come here. Nobody can write a line of code. They cannot touch a line of code without things on the backlog. In the environment, nobody can touch the code. Nobody can add a dot in the code base. So if you want to find an issues, so you have to create a bug. Or if you want to see something need to change on the Agile ALM, you have to create a story. That's everything is start. It is start from there, priority for analyze from there, priority from there, need to come to the sprint. Then the developer, they will start working. Otherwise, they cannot touch the code base. And then once the development done, now you can come, okay, what has been changed? I said this button need to be added. And he said before the API endpoint was the 2-line, the payload, now the 3-line of payload, because you recommended to add. She recommended to add multiple things on the Miriam recommended multiple things need to be added in the calendar. So you need to enhance the endpoint. We need to add the payload. So after the development done, she can verify now, oh, I asked this, oh, here's the name. Now she can go to the where? Swagger. So now the person who create the requirement, they know everything. They don't need to be developer because everybody is working based on the same requirements. You see how important to understand the requirements? Because even though somebody wrote the Hebrew language, but they wrote the your requirement. And you know what you are asking. And that's the reason for everybody, it go back to the understand the requirement, how it works, then you will be the best in the team. Any question from the remote while she's bringing the food, please? Go ahead, ask question. Anyone can ask the question now. Who raised the hand, please? Kaji, go ahead. You can ask the question now, unless the hand raise was 1 hour. Okay, so let me lower the hand. Okay, any question, guys? So this session, you need to watch very carefully. This helps your job. This will help you to be productive in your job. This will help you to know everything as details as possible. Last session and this session, it makes you very experienced, very matured in any environment you go. Okay, but if you take this session light and you will be talking some bullshit, and everybody will know right away. Okay, things works in a sequence way. Everything we do in the environment, it makes sense. By the way, what do we say? It makes sense.
When we need to use GitHub, in which stage we need to use GitHub?
You don't, because you deploy you saw the Postman. You see your Postman code is there. The same thing. Your before payload was 2-line. Now that you need to change the new payload, that's a 5-line. Same thing. So if you do on your computer, it's on your computer. When it is on the Git, everybody see it. Everybody can verify your testing. No, Postman is the testing tool. Git is the storing, the code storage. Good? Okay. All right, guys. Thank you.